Okay, hello and welcome back to another one of my little progress updates on my devlog. This is my last one came out Saturday and I made it that day. Today is Wednesday, so it's not been that long, but I added a little bit. I added another house. I added some people around that I'm going to give skins in a little bit. Um, I don't think I showed this in my last one, but I have this little thing where this gets pushed forward and activates at night, which is cool. I believe I had this all set up, but if I didn't, here's just another look at it. Using entities, I was able to make these fences in this back area. I also just incorporated waystones and a character that's going to show us how to use waystones and can help us throughout the story. Over here, I have a little area that would just, keep your stuff safe. So you have your little ender chest and then you have this nice little decoration around it. Also, this little area where I'm going to have a little goblin guy show you, or be able to trade with you. Also, one little thing that I didn't show is that when you run or walk on dirt paths, you get a speed boost. So if I were to try and show this, so while I'm running off of it, while I'm on it, you can tell that there's a speed boost while you're standing on them. Now, let's talk about future updates and what's kind of going on. I also want to talk about Axiom in general, because it seems like Axiom is kind of being slept on still. I feel like it's getting a little bit of a boost right now in how people are, learning about it and everything, but it still seems like, at least within communities that are very vocal, we're still using outdated stuff like World Edit, where Axiom has such a giant UI is so much easier to read and it's so much easier to use the tools. It's a lot more user friendly, and then also it just is a lot more powerful to someone like me to use Axiom over World Edit, especially with this little tool giving you the ability to create item displays, block displays, and text displays. Text displays are the easiest since all you really do is you just say, "Hey, world," and then done, and then you walk away, and hey, look, it says it right there. You can delete it by clicking on it with either the right or the left mouse button, and then just hitting the delete button on your computer. And then you have block displays, which are also very fun because you can have any block that your game has, whether it's modded or not, put in any way you want. This can also have rotation, and then as well, because this is a sign, I believe you can. Actually, I don't know if you can put stuff on that. Also, that sign sucks. So, yeah, I think there's some sort of thing that's broken with those. But just as a little show, I'm going to get this andesite here. I'm just going to spawn it, and I'm going to look at this andesite, and I'm just going to break this one. I'm going to do this little thing. So I'm going to take this. You can right click and it'll open up that menu. If you just left click, you can left click to deselect it. If I left click on it, I can just select it. I can left click anywhere else to deselect it. And I can right click to select it and open this little menu. Both of them selected every time though. Now if you want to move this easily, you can look at a block, right click it. Now that that's down, I can raise this a little bit, and then I can rotate it to give it this kind of natural look that I have in areas like this, where it comes up a little bit. These white blocks are not visible within vanilla or survival, but so that makes it a lot easier because all I just have to do is do that, and then boom, look how nice all of this ends up looking. One problem that this has though is that this isn't andesite. It's not a block, it's an entity. So I just fall right through it. So the best way that I've found so far, unless you're using barriers, which is, also fine, I guess, I've been using glass, because what it does is if you can color coordinate the glass, it can fill in some of the gaps around the edges, making it less noticeable that it's actually just kind of a hole. Now, one thing that does happen is when I walk across them, you can hear the sound of glass as I walk across them. Now, for people who pay attention to small details, it's probably better that you just choose barriers, since when I walk on barriers, it makes a very basic sound, something that's not as intrusive as a little ding every time that you walk across a different block. One thing that you might be able to get away with is if you're mostly using stone bricks and you put one in there, some people might not notice at all. Now, you could just kind of chop it up to like, oh, well, you know, it's just like a little bit of variance in the sound of the footsteps, and it's kind of just to make it more interesting, which, you know, you can fall for or you cannot, and it's whatever. It's really up to how you decide to do it. Another thing is breaking up walls with this same technique. I put brown glass so that light can get in, but things can't get in, to make this dirt. And I thought that it didn't stand out enough, so I actually flipped the texture upside down and then put it in, and I just reloaded whatever the hell cave dust config. Oh, wow. Sorry. But this helps with, you know, I flipped it so it helps it with, you know, fitting in, but also standing out more. I think that saying fitting in was not the word I was looking for there, and it's probably obvious. But yeah. My next plan is to get the rest of these houses in. I think I said that at the end of the last video, but, you know, it doesn't harm just to say it again. I'm going to put some more houses in. As you can see, I flattened out this area, which gives me more space. House there and a house there. Maybe a little tower here or something like that. And then we will get out to this area where I'll start pathing it. And then I'm going to get killed by all of these. Ow! I forget that in here it's peaceful, or like it's no enemies can spawn in this area because it's lit by a torch, by a mega torch under the ground. So you the second you walk out of the village, you will get just absolutely bombed. This is still a problem that I'm facing, where textures, whether they're custom or not, have a terrible time sitting on top of entities. So I'm gonna really have to look into that. If you see this video and you're like, oh, I've seen that, or I know how to fix that, or you're just, you know, interested in the project, then check out my Discord, where I have just kind of that's kind of where I'm checking most of the time, since I use it for, you know, hanging out with friends and everything. Entity markers will always be on this mod's lantern. What are they called? I don't know what they're called. Hanging lanterns like this. There will be entity or unmarked markers, unnamed markers, that's what it's called, all over them. I did this area because I was kind of getting tired of doing the other area, and this is a pretty simple do. All you have to do is just carve it out with Axiom, and then paint the floor with this noise texture, and that's it. Nothing really crazy about that. Now, see, creepers have that same problem. Oh my gosh, I forgot that I'm in survival. Holy, I need to be like thinking smarter. But I've also done a few other things. So in this area over here, I'm planning to have a whole bunch of just kind of a pillager area. Now, this kind of does harm if like you're trying to like, if you're watching this and you're like, oh, I kind of want to play that world once you're done. You know, me saying that out loud is probably not the best idea, but I do want to get my notes on paper, so sorry to say that, but from now on, it'll be mostly spoilers for where I'm deciding to put things and just kind of my flow of thought. I love the look of these mountains, and I really want to have something kind of nestled into this flat area right here that you can see with all these fir trees. And look at that, beautiful. Look at this world. This seed is just so good with the Biomes of Plenty mod and everything. I think, I don't know if I have Terralith or anything like that, but just this natural like path as well. Like just so many areas here where it's just so well generated. It's just amazing. Anyway, that's probably going to be it for today. I think I said my last video that this is going to go to a snowy town over here. As you can see the snow on the distance. I think I have my max render distance up, which is not good because I don't like playing with it and it might accidentally cause frame drops, but hey, sometimes you just gotta deal with what you have to deal with, I guess. Go to my video settings and drop it from 59 or 29 to somewhere around 13 to 12. Apply, and then we'll turn on a shader pack, I guess, since, you know. A few things that I do want to say about shader packs in general, actually, and I'll just turn on the Vibrant that I usually use for this world. And if you're going to use a shader pack, I would recommend that you use Vibrant. One thing that it does is entity models like these have just unbelievably hard times working with shader packs. So if you're just walking around and you're like, ooh, what the hell is that? Or, you know, you're walking through and you're like, why do these like tiles look like this, or why does this block look like this? It's just because, you know, either it's in a block or it's being lit from an angle that just doesn't make sense, and it's for some reason the whole block's being lit or something like that. Then grab these and edit the properties. They should not have, they don't have override brightness. They're just bugged, and you know what, at a certain point you can't really fix that too well, so you just kind of gotta flow with it, you know. As you can see here, this one's a lot brighter than the rest of them, even though this one's, you know, has no real great reason to be brighter. But yeah, I think this video is going to be a little longer than the last one since I talked about Axiom and I talked about some plans that I was thinking of doing. But I hope it was more enjoyable and maybe even a little bit educational since I did talk about Axiom. I actually do want to make a video talking about Axiom, talking about how good it is and why I would probably switch to it if I was you playing with, you know, with World Edit. Because unless you're a very skilled professional with World Edit, I would assume that it's a lot better to use Axiom. But it is kind of hard switching over from an old thing like that. So anyway, expect another devlog and maybe expect a video coming out soon about Axiom. When I say soon, maybe in the next, you know, before the end of the year, maybe. Don't quote me on that. I am very busy. So, you know, that's great. But yeah, this is just a little side project that I'm doing alongside like work and everything. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. Hope you're interested in this kind of content, because then that means that you can give me a like or a subscribe. You know, check out my other videos. Not that you might like some of the other ones on my channel, because I think, you know, they're not all bangers. But yeah, check in probably next week or maybe later this week if I'm actually that busy on this. I only have a day off today. As you can see, it's 11 a.m., so I do have a lot of time today. School is probably the only thing that takes a lot of my time in the mornings, so today I didn't have any, so I'm good. We're chilling. But yeah. Anyway, I hope you are interested in the other videos on my channel so that you can go check them out. And thank you for watching. Goodbye. Goodbye.